Today, Representative Jasmine Crockett. We're going to look at how she's spending her time in Congress.
Let's talk first about this session, some of your goals. Is there anything you're trying to pass? How much of it is going on offense? How much of it is going on defense, trying to stop the Republicans?
Trying to pass? No.
She's telling you right here.
I should probably be a better politician and tell you, yes, we've got all this amazing legislation that I can absolutely imagine Donald Trump signing into law. And I'm just not gonna lie.
We don't want to imagine it. Tell us what you're trying to pass.
I think that right now it is about preserving our basics and getting back some of the norms that make sure that people have food on the table, the norms that make sure that people aren't going through any extra layer of stress when it comes to figuring out education for their kids. So right now, I can tell you that unfortunately, I am not working towards very much that I would consider being the progress train. Mm-hmm. I am working to make sure that I can minimize the regress train right now.
So let me get this straight. You want to keep the status quo instead of trying to help your people move forward.
And what are some of the programs or issues that you think that Dallas and your district should really be watching in this time?
Yeah, so unfortunately, we've seen the reports about how they are planning to cut 80,000 jobs from the Veterans Administration. Mm-hmm. We have the second largest VA in our district, right there in southern Dallas County. And so
how many people work at the VA nationwide? As of fiscal year 2023, there were 398,568 employees. If they're going to cut 80,000 jobs, that means they're going to reduce the workforce nationwide by 20%.
But there may be people that say, well, I don't work at the VA, or I'm not a veteran, so I'm not going to the VA. Maybe. Even if that is your attitude, let me tell you, this will impact the entire district. Because having the second largest VA, I imagine that we are going to end up enduring a large brunt of those cuts. That's number one.
It'd be nice if right about now she would tell us exactly how many people are employed at the second largest VA in Dallas County. Well, let me tell you, it's 4,700 employees and 1,700 volunteers. And they're not going to lose any volunteers due to these cuts. 20% of the 4,700 employees at the second largest VA in Dallas County would equal 940 employees. Now, she's trying to make you think that they're going to cut 20,000 jobs here in Dallas alone. My next question is, how many of us have been subjected to a reduction in force, a layoff, or some part of your company closing and people losing their job? I know I have. And it sucks. But that's life. The business has got to make money. Sometimes when you try to help everyone, you end up not being able to help anyone. This is something the Democrats don't seem to understand.
What do you think the message of the Democratic Party should be to come back from the wilderness? We were talking on the show about how, as State of the Union, a lot of Democrats got people's attention. But we don't always know what the message is of what the Democratic Party stands for.
I don't know what they will stand for, but I do know what they won't stand for. And that's this young man.
First of all, one of the things that I recently only realized is how selfish people are. And I think that we've been leaning into more of the empathy and doing what's right, whether it's here or abroad.
Empathy and doing what's right? I don't think so. Where was your empathy for these young women and their families?
Do about that, because at some point that question has to be answered. For instance, transgender athletes in women's sports.
Yeah. And so I remember being at a barbershop in Philly, and I was talking to a black barber. He had his daughter there, and she was itty bitty girl, preschool. And he was like, I don't know how I really feel about all this trans stuff. And I said, okay, I'm okay with you not knowing. That's fine. I said, but let me ask you, how many trans kids are playing with your daughter? He was like, I was like, okay. I said, okay, let's try this one. I said, you're currently working in this barbershop, but I'm sure one day you want to own your own shop and that kind of stuff. Is it the trans people that are keeping you from accessing that capital? And he was like, I was like, so let me be real with you. I was like, what they have decided to do is distract you. They've decided to play you.
No, it's you that's distracting him and playing him. One, with his daughter, an issue that probably doesn't affect her now, but will in the future due to Democratic policies. And two, an issue that should have no effect. What you failed to do was to inquire into what his concerns were. What you did was pivot and push your narrative instead of addressing his concerns.
I said, because at the end of the day, they have nothing to offer you. I said, but I got a whole agenda that Kamala Harris laid out specifically for black men.
Didn't you just say?
I am not working towards very much that I would consider being the progress train. Mm-hmm. I am working to make sure that I can minimize the regress train right now.
So you're not working on an agenda specifically for black men. What you're doing is filling a seat and playing the spoiler. We do agree on one thing.
I should probably be a better politician and
maybe do less of this BS. Congress is not Dance Party USA. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It really helps the algorithm. And until next time, peace out.